And now to begin our special analysis of the day, we welcome our special envoy, Yunus Soner. Hello, Yunus, can you hear us? It's a pleasure to have you with us as always.
Hello, good evening from Caracas, from the neighborhood of Petare. We are at the center of Petare, right across the José Jesus de Arocha High School, where we have been based today. That was the election center. And here the day was very peaceful, very relaxed, very ordered, very peaceful, as I mentioned. It started very early. When we arrived here at 5 o'clock, we have seen a huge queue with people waiting in line since 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock to cast their votes. And during the day, the voting continued. On midday, when the sun was really hot, it deceased a little bit. And in the afternoon, it took up again somewhat, though not as strong as in the morning. It was clear that a huge crowd of people was very keen to vote, and they did not leave it to any time during the day, but they went to the first hour when at 6 o'clock the voting center has opened and they casted their votes. Right now, we have here around me some groups celebrating celebrating the president of Maduro, and we see they are singing. They were singing. Now we're moving a little bit inwards as traffic is taking up, and here you see in the background fireworks being shot into the air. Fireworks that indicate more celebration here in Petare. People were dancing just 5 minutes ago before this traffic went up. And here are more fireworks going on. The whole day was very, I must underline this, was very peaceful. People stood side by side. They cast their votes. There was no trouble at all. I have not witnessed any discussion between citizens. Everyone was very orderly. They had to wait in the morning. Once they entered the election center, there was a special waiting place organized with seats, so they had not to stand on their feet. They were waiting in line, very organized, and called by line and number, and cast their votes. So this was in Petare a very regular, very organized election day that is now ending up with some celebrations.
Excellent, Yunus. So first of all, it's great to hear everything you were saying, that people are out in the streets, they're celebrating, that this was a calm and good election day. That is always good news to hear. And also, just before we finish with you, I would like to know what's coming on, what are people expecting, what are we supposed to expect in the coming hours?
Well, now we just spoke to the technical staff here at the election center. The machines have been lastly audited, so the data is being transferred. Now what we have to expect is the National Electoral Council. The data is being transferred there. It's been collected there nationwide. All election centers are transferring the results of each voting center. Each voting center has one printout of each voting table, and this is a printout, a paper printout that stays in the center, that does not leave the center. That's important. If anyone runs around with a paper, that's illegal. And the digital version is being transferred to the National Electoral Center. That gathers the data, and that will gather the data until there is a winner which is clear. That means the winner has so much distance to the second candidate that this distance cannot be closed by the remaining votes. That is usually up above 90% of the votes being counted. This is where the National Electoral Council will share this information, which is being analyzed by the presence of representatives of all political parties that took part in this election, 38 their total number. Their technicians are there. They are following this process. And once it's finalized, it will be shared first with the candidates. And then afterwards, when the National Electoral Council has shared it with the candidates, it will later on then to give them some time to prepare their reactions and to prepare a possible speech they might want to hold. Then the National Electoral Council will announce the result, which will not be 100% a result, but it will be a definitive result because it will be a result that is mathematically irreversible. And that will be the only announcement that the National Election Council will make. For our readers outside of Venezuela who might not know the election system here very well, there are no intermediate results, there are no exit polls. It is not like 10% of the votes counted, it stands like this, 20% of the votes counted, it stands like this. No, this is not the case. Here, the National Electoral Council will announce one result, and that will be the final result, announcing the president. Later on, some days later on, they will announce the 100% of the votes result, but that won't change because the criteria to announce this result today is that it is irreversible mathematically.
Thank you, Yunus, for joining us at this edition of Venezuela Decides. It's always a pleasure to have you.